Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of El Local Podcast 831. I am your host, Eddie Gonzalez, and today we have a member of the Nerdville crew that tirelessly throughout the year put the event together. We have Paco joining us. What's up, Paco?
What's up?
So, Nerdville 2025, year 5. It's upon us. So, yeah, people are looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Same here. Yeah, it's been a year in preparation. We started it right after the last year's event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were there, right? In the, in the meetings. Yeah, it's coming quick.
Yeah.
Blink of an eye.
This week. Paco, well, you're Paco number 2 because you got Francisco Estrada Paco.
Yeah.
You know, but kind of give the people a rundown of who you are and your role with Nerdville.
Okay. Yeah, it's Nerdville pretty much started during COVID type of situation. Paco and I, the Paco one, me and him and I, we've known each other since we were kids. Grew up playing soccer with each other.
Yeah.
We would run, we'll run into each other at Comic-Cons in San Diego Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember us just talking about having something like that close by and something like that. So I was always up for the idea, but growing up, I was born and raised in Watsonville, big nerd, was collecting since I can remember, Pokemon, anything, Star Wars, everything. And then, went to school and then lived up in San Francisco. That's where I was working prior to coming down here. And then once we moved to Santa Cruz, which is right before COVID, that's when things became a little bit more approachable. So that's when Paco and I started talking a little bit more. And I just remember the second year, I think it was in the youth center.
Yeah.
That, the second year was at the cafeteria.
Cafeteria in Watsonville, yeah.
So, he asked me if I wanted to vend there because David also, his friend, would also vend at some events. So they're like, yeah, there's some spaces you want to go. And then so I went and I had a lot of anime stuff, a lot of pops, a lot of stuff like that. And it went really well. That's when the Killer Klowns was.
Yeah, year 2.
The Chiodo brothers were there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a great event for the size of it. And then so the following year, that's when they decided to move it to the gym.
The big gym at Watsonville High.
And they would do those the outreach with the public to see what things they wanted to see more of, and that's when they brought up anime.
Oh yeah.
And since Paco won, Estrada kind of he's more into the wrestling side, comics and stuff like that. He kind of reached out and said, hey, aren't you into anime and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I dab in that. And so he was just like, hey, do you want to be part of Nerdville? Let's help us, try to bring people in, investigate the whole thing. And then that's how I pretty much got involved. And that's how I kind of started. And then I started helping out also with some marketing stuff and graphics. But yeah, and then now it's I'm just focusing on bringing in talent.
Yeah.
So always open, suggestions, for next year. But this year we're bringing in some heavy hitters. So anime.
Because anime, I mean, we've talked about this a lot. Anime is king.
Yeah.
In Watsonville, at the moment, it took off when we brought Abby Trott, and then last year when we brought
Jason and Elizabeth.
Yes.
And some of the other people.
Yeah, so people love it. People in Watsonville love it. People, I mean, they flock from everywhere to come see these artists. So it's great to see being part of year 1 to year 5 how much it's grown.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, it started at the youth center. And for those who don't know the youth center, it's like a gymnasium, like a small cafeteria gymnasium, like at a middle school
or elementary
school, about that size. And then to grow to a cafeteria size at Watsonville High, and then we outgrew that. Now we're at the big gymnasium at Watsonville High, the basketball gymnasium, And even then, it's like
It's small.
It's small because we're growing.
Yeah.
And it's just growing and growing, and people love it. People, come from all over the place to come. But you said that your job, you're the talent guy. You're the guy that brings it in.
Yeah, like a little shout out to also Garlic Raul, who kind of like he was the one when I would go to events that he was well connected.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a good resource to kind of tap into.
Shout out to Garlic City Funko.
Yeah, well, he changed it to collectibles now.
Oh, collectibles. Okay.
Yeah. But what's it called? Yeah, so like, he kind of showed me the ins and outs of stuff and how to approach people, because when I first attempted it, I kind of like, it was all new to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to all these events. I would talk to the talent, to the client, or to the guests, to some of the voice actors, and it's easier talking to them than the agents. So I just remember I had a little mishap in the beginning.
Oh, really?
Where it feels like I wasn't aware that I wasn't aware that the guests had several agents that would represent them, right?
Really?
So
Okay.
at first I thought just one agent represented this amount of people, and so if you wanted that person, you had to talk to that agency, right? But in my, I guess in my little mishap was the fact that I talked to so many, because it would take them a while to respond, that they didn't like me, kind of like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes there were two agents representing the same person, and they didn't like that. So it was just like I learned by mistakes.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I think we're situated really well. We're building a good repertoire with like the agents, and the fact that once they come here, some of the guests, at least from the feedback that I received, has been that they love our community. The fact that we're pretty close to the beach, we're close to Monterey and Santa Cruz, the culture. So it's good to see them enjoy themselves in Watsonville.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Jason as well, Ernesto, who came last year. He voices, and he's been, he's been vouching for Watsonville, for Nerdville. So yeah, shout out to him as well.
Yeah, no, that's a testament to the people in the community, just to the city, right? That the positive feedback that we get back from, these actors. They're normal people, right? Just like us. But for someone to come and like, oh, where's Watsonville at? And then they come and they experience it, and it's like they leave with a positive taste in their mouth. That's awesome. That makes me feel proud of our place.
Yeah, that's I guess from doing this, since we're all volunteers, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't get paid for any of this. It's like it comes from the heart, right? Paco, Andrea, everybody that's involved in this, you see it, the passion and everything, and to be there and just like how you're saying, like everything that goes into it.
Yeah.
The long hours, putting in, you doing this podcast, doing several things, and still having that energy to be out there.
Yeah.
And doing stuff that all is reflected. And like every guest that came was like, oh, the people were so nice, it was so inviting, and they want to come again.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, then in my position is like, how often do we invite the same people, or do we try to mix it up and try to change it up for the following years, and try to please every person, because we're all nerds of something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And I do feel like we'll get to the point where like we could invite multiple people than what we got, and recurring, because that's what you want, right? People to like want to come here and want to be here.
Yeah. Well, we had that issue this year too, or last year, that we had some people reach out at the end to see if we were still interested in picking up people, right? Like even some of the guests or some of the voice actors will reach out to us and say, hey, would you guys be interested in that I show up or something? But I would feel bad because we're also limited on resources, that we can't just invite the whole world.
Yeah.
But that's what we want. And the good thing is that a lot of these guests that do come, like let's say Abby Trott that came 2 years ago, right? She's done new animations that have been like I don't know if you had a chance or if you know of Dan Dedan or something like that.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, there's a song to the anime that's like super popular, but that anime has just skyrocketed. It's been super great, and so there's another reason to bring her back. So it's all that good stuff, and that's what we want. Like how you said, we want them to like at the end of it say, hey, let me do Nerdville again.
Yeah. The day of Nerdville, like you said, there's a lot of that goes into it, a lot of behind the scenes, and long hours, long meetings, long hours. But the day of, how do you describe the day of Nerdville as a vendor?
Yeah.
But then also as a guest.
Oh, as a guest, it's amazing. Like at least to me, growing up in Watsonville, it's like I still get starstruck in a sense, like talking to them, like some of the guests that do show up, because like some of these guests, I grew up watching, them in the cartoons and the animes and stuff. And now to see them there, it's great as a guest to show up and be like, oh my God, this is happening in Watsonville from all places, right? And then the other side of me as a person, helping out with the event, it's like, oh my God, I brought them here. I helped bring these people in. And then as a vendor, it's great because you see, because like growing up here, you see that other side of the nerdum, right? Like everyone that collects, everyone, like we always joke around that our grandparents were probably like the first collectors because they would collect those those memories or whatever,
the little angels and like all these little trinkets,
those little porcelain dolls that they would always like showcase. So they were nerds and somehow, and they were like collecting these things that meant something to them, right? So as a vendor, being able to provide like the community, and also I try to sell things at pretty much at what I retail, because I like to see kids, get I guess, suck into this nice kind of nerd culture of just like, collecting something they've wanted and playing with it, or even seeing the voice actor there, and then just seeing all that, like I enjoy it. And as a dad as well, I want to see my kid, enjoy things that I wasn't able to in my day. So it just helps a lot. It's like I just enjoy both aspects of it as a guest, seeing it in Watsonville, and then also being a part of it, and also being a vendor in my hometown is great. I don't have to travel far.
Yeah.
Setting up is always like an issue, and plus being part of the event and doing everything, it's chaotic, but it's the rush. It's good.
I'm kind of jealous of little kids that come, because growing up, like, it was not normal to be a nerd, right? Like, oh, you're into comic books. Oh, you're into this. Like it wasn't the norm.
Yeah.
Right. And so now it is, and I'm glad that we get to put this on, because I could see the excitement in little ones, right? Because I imagine us having something like that when we were kids, like we would totally like geek out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we get to put that on for the younger generation, because, like I said, we didn't have that growing up, and if we would have had that, I think we would have totally like had so many collectibles, right?
Gone in bankruptcy really quick, but the thing is, that's very true. It's like they don't have to kind of like
hide it.
Yeah, hide it. And that's what we dealt with, right? A lot when we were growing up. It was like, I remember I was a little outcast, even in high school. I was a little nerd that sometimes would go into school in his PJs in Watsonville, and people kind of laugh at me for not combing my hair or doing stuff, and I just didn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like now these kids are, just to have that self-esteem, right? Like we really don't think about it as much, but like letting them be themselves, whether they want to cosplay, it's like, it's easy to see, like our parents in those days, we can dress up only in Halloween type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, you can do it. It's
whenever you want. Yeah.
And no one's gonna bat an eye. Even people are gonna encourage it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that helps a lot with the self-esteem of these kids growing up. Letting them venture out into these other realms that we weren't allowed to, or we felt like we weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
And it's always great to see. Like like I said, the reason why I enjoy Nerdville is because I love the name too, Nerdville, because it's like all of us are nerds of something.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're into Disney, like my little one is huge into like all the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good to see her just enjoy it. Like I'm living through her as well, but at the same time I'm able to enjoy it myself. Right. So yeah, it's good, and to you, yeah, it's like I am a little jealous that I wasn't able to grow up in this generation,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the people that we got, well, let's talk about like the week, right? Because this week, this entire week. So this episode is dropping on Monday. Today, if you're watching it, it's today. And we got a full week. So Thursday, we have Public House. Yeah.
Oh no, is it Public House this for the trivia?
Trivia.
Okay.
Yeah. So Public House is hosting the trivia. Okay. A nerd trivia. So we're partnering up with them, and then same place, Public House, we have on Saturday a Q&A
and screening
of Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, the Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the Chiodo brothers are coming back. Yeah. Yeah, that is exciting.
Like I remember, like I mentioned, that was the first time I was kind of involved in Nerdville. And my first thought when I was there, because like they had a lot of posters and stuff, was like, it would have been great if they had actual like figures and stuff for them to sign, because whether people collect them for value or just for memorabilia purposes or whatever, having more options for them to sign is great. And then I just remember that, like, I think it was like a year or two after the figures came out.
Oh yeah.
So now I'm looking forward to that. Shout out to MV Murals as well, Paul, because he started doing some prototypes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for those who plan on going, those will probably, I think a set's going to be available for you there. Highly recommend it. But yeah, it's looking forward to that.
The Chiodo brothers came year 2. We were at the Watsonville High Cafeteria. They were a big hit. People, it was kind of funny because people didn't know that they were there that year.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, what, they were there? And then now it's like it's building more traction. Like people know, hey, the Chiodo brothers, the Killer Klowns from Outer Space directors are going to be here. And for those that do or don't know, the Killer Klowns from Outer Space movie has become such a cult classic. Yeah. Like it's blown up, right? And it's so huge. Well, one, because it was filmed here in Watsonville, in Santa Cruz, but mostly here in Watsonville.
Yeah, by the Goodwill.
The old Watsonville High Police Department building was filmed there too. And so people love the Killer Klowns. I mean, you see online, like over the last 5 so years, they've blown up to the point that even like Universal Studios Hollywood has a Fright Night, and it's a Killer Klowns theme.
I had no clue about that.
No?
That's hey, you learn something new every day. Yeah. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they just started it like last year or the year before.
No, yeah, like because of this year I was kind of helping out with some of the banners, which I typically help out with, and so when I was doing my research on Chiodo Brothers, like it was good to also know that they helped out in Critters. Remember Critters?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I used to be afraid of those little fuzzballs, but yeah, it was like like knowing that they help with that, and also I don't know if people are much familiar, but they were also involved in Elf, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, so they were in the stop motion kind of thing. So whoever has those little, because I know Funko created actually a set of the North Pole with the little stop motion figures. Hey, you can get that sign as well.
Yeah.
Just shout out to them.
Yeah.
They've done quite a lot, and I'm glad that all this stuff is like going well with them. You know,
Yeah.
that the movies.
Yeah, the movie's like, and there's also talks about a sequel.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, so I guess you're learning something new.
Yeah.
So I was looking online like a couple months back, and there's talks of a sequel with Ryan Gosling producing it. Yeah. So it was just like early talks and everything, and just kind of little news clips. And so if they come when we see them this week,
that's a good question.
that's a good question to ask them and talk to them. Like,
is.
hey, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring them on board for.
Yeah, if they need people,
you guys want to come back to Watsonville and film it? I mean, why not, right? So
or promote it here.
Yeah,
do like a screening here, maybe something.
Yeah. So
that'd be great.
That's going to be actually a good question to ask them when we see them this week. Yeah. So, but yes, those are one of the guests that are showing up, the Chiodo brothers, and again, they're happy to be back. They love it here. But what are the other guests that are coming by, and what are they into?
Yeah, like so right now, at least in the anime side of things, there's always new animes popping up, and it's a little difficult to kind of like pick up on the voice actors or the actors that kind of that deal with those new animes and stuff, because they're typically if it just came out, they're world tour, right?
Yeah.
Type of thing. So so right now it's like another one is like One Piece. It's been around for a long time. And I've always kind of wanted to bring someone like the heavy hitters here, just because that would be amazing for them to show up in Watsonville. So so for One Piece, we're bringing actually Stephanie Young, who voices Nico Robin, and so for me that's like I've been rewatching One Piece, and to have her here. Especially now that it feels like with a Pokemon craze, and now with like the One Piece craze now with the trading card game that's been going on. It's great to see them here, as well as another of the guests is Jesse Hooker, who voices like the original voice actor for Ace, which is another big personality in the One Piece world, and bringing them here would be it's a great thing, It's I'm looking forward for them to just meet their fan base that's in Watsonville, which is like how you were mentioning in the beginning. There's a big following, in the anime side, and especially for One Piece. So I'm hoping to see a lot of cosplaying of One Piece, and a lot of people very interested in getting their signatures or pictures taken. So I'm very happy for that. And to round up the other two guests that we were able to bring this year is Trina Nishimura, and she I've been trying to bring her for a couple of years because I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan. Yeah, and I love that anime. Fell in love with it. Was waiting to get the last season in. But, it's I'm glad that she was able to, that she said yes to coming to Watsonville.
That's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to seeing her. And
the one that I'm excited about is this next one.
Yeah. And then, I was happy that Kyle Herbert said yes to us as well. He's big too. He does a lot of characters that some of us know. I'm also a huge Bleach fan, so he's coming, Suzuki Aizen, and also he does Gohan, adult Gohan.
Adult Gohan.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm excited for.
Yeah, so it's so I'm just happy, we have a great lineup. And just I'm hoping that the, people, the fans will come out, support Nerdville, support these guys. Enjoy being in here, and also it's we're trying to push more of the panels. Well,
we'll be having a panel this week at the event, led by yours truly. So I'll be out there.
Yeah, so it's it's for that interaction between the fans, and at every con and every place that you typically go to, the big ones, having those panels, being able to ask questions is always a great thing for the fans. Yeah. And the fact that Nerdville is a smaller venue, it's a better opportunity for, anybody, kids alike, could ask.
I don't know what the panel's going to be like, in the sense of like the day of.
Yeah.
But I guess, like you said, it's a smaller venue, and it's almost like it could be more intimate, right?
Yeah.
Like more like almost 1-to-1. Because if you go to like a big old con, you got to wait in line, and there's a big old crowd. But I think that's going to be a good for people to want to ask questions. Like, hey, they'll be like within this distance, asking questions, to the guest.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what I look forward to. Like I would go a lot to San Diego Comic-Con, and there was one moment where I was like super close of asking a question because I lined up, but they pretty much take like 3 questions.
Yeah.
And I was probably like the 6th person in the line. So like being able to just talk to those people that you typically see in the box, the TV box, in the screen, that like, hey, I've been a big fan, and just like having those questions, because you see these, like how like with the Chiodo brothers, right? Like you hear like the rumors about something, hey, like I would be super interested in a sequel to it. The same with like One Piece, like, oh, are you guys doing any other arcs or whatever, or do you see these ending, or are you still gonna keep doing what you're doing, or are you like, because I know some of these voice actors also do some live like TV shows and so forth. So it's just good to ask them about their projects and everything. They're just like us, so yeah, it's like
I gotta ask, when and obviously when it comes to booking these actors, right, there's a process and everything.
Yeah, there's a
what's that process like?
What
can you what is it that you could share?
No, I can share. Yeah, I can share myself. The thing is, it's since also it's like with anything, right? Like especially with smaller towns, smaller venues, it's a little more difficult to kind of like to convince a lot of these like heavy hitters, and that's why it's a big deal that we're able to bring such like interesting and well recognized like voice actors in the anime areas, because sometimes they don't hear from us, right? And to them, it's also it's like it's a risk, right? Because like there's a lot of events nowadays, because like during COVID there was hardly anything going on, right? But now there's so much going on everywhere, and a lot of them kind of like well, at least the ones that we've been trying to get to come to the events, it's like there's sometimes events that they might be far away, they might be on the East Coast, they might be somewhere else, that sometimes it's a little difficult with their schedules to get here. But in other things, it's like sometimes they prefer to going to a place where they know there's going to be a lot of guests, right? A lot of like people showing up, a lot of fans. And sometimes it's like with these little venues like ourselves, like I still consider ourselves kind of small, but that the fans will show up, right? Because like no one wants to go to a place and just be there by themselves and just be like, oh, like no one came to see me or anything. So marketing has to, it's a big thing. But so convincing them that Watsimo is a nice place to come and visit, and that we loved having these guests in our community. That's where I find that's my like that's my job in a sense, right? Yeah. Trying to convince them, trying to like see, okay, like, and then also of course there's like negotiations about like what we can do, because of course everything kind of involves money, and also the fact that we're a small town, and some of the requirements are like places to stay, hotels and stuff, and we only have like a few available. The closest ones are in Santa Cruz or in San Jose or like Monterey. Yeah. So that takes into account like logistics of how we're able to bring them. But I'm still like and typically everything just falls on our how much funds we're able to generate to kind of entice them to come, because it's like it is a business, so for them, and for us it's like, okay, like this year we were trying to bring the 2 voice actors, like Chris Sabat, who's the voice actor for Vegeta, and he does all these major peeps and stuff, and Sean, who does Goku, and like for Paco and Andrea and them, like those are like our major, like, oh, let's get them, let's get them. So if you're listening to this,
yeah,
hopefully we can convince you to come.
yeah,
But so and like I said, they got booked. We try to book them a year in advance. Like once we know we got the green light to go for next year, I reach out to the agents and I try to reach out to them. But most of the time, it's like they wait till like probably like 6 months or 5 months before.
Yeah.
And by then, it's like they get probably bombarded by all these offers.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, they get to choose from like all this stuff. And the thing is like, at least for me, it's to like, how do I make it to entice them to come? And the thing is, like how you're saying, and you mentioned it before, is like having them enjoy our town, right? Mm-hmm. Like, like showing them that Watson was kind of unique in itself. And it's like, we have Driscoll's, we have Martinelli's, we have all these like great brands and like, places like that exist that have their headquarters here,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like, when they show up, having a little goodie bag for them, like with some of the Driscoll's, who's a sponsor and stuff, shout out to them too.
Yeah.
And it's like little strawberries there that, everyone loves, well, at least the majority of people love strawberries. And it's like, enticing them with the local cuisines in here. Like, hopefully this year we can provide them with some El Nopal from the bakery or something to kind of like little things, little like jewels in Watsonville that people kind of like gravitate here. And that's how I feel like enticing them and having this group of guests that are showing up this year. What's it called? Like spread the word for us.
Yeah.
Right. Talk pretty.
And right, you had mentioned Driscoll's, right?
Yeah.
And I want to get into that because I actually want to thank. This is a thank you to the sponsors of Nerdville, and if you guys for whatever reason want to sponsor the podcast, it's kind of a free plug. So we got Driscoll's Strawberries is one of the sponsors. We have La Colmena. Market and catering, El Frijolito, we have Gold's Gym, the Digital Nest, Pajaro Valley Printing, we have the City of Watsonville, we have PVUSD, and we have
Friends
of Watsonville Parks and Community Services, who actually is the ones that run it and put this show together. So those are all our sponsors. So we want to thank those sponsors for helping us, and a lot of them since day one.
Yeah. Like, these are the major, like the ones that kind of off the back have been helping us out since kind of the beginning. And that's why like students are free. PVUSD.
Yes, PVUSD students, you enter for free if you are a district kid. Just make sure you bring your school ID. All right. If not, then
you have to pay.
You got to pay. So make sure you guys bring your school ID.
No, and just remember, guys. Like, and this is something that I always push because, like, I'm, I since I live in Santa Cruz right now, it's like all my family lives in Watson. We're trying to make our way back here, but when I'm dropping off flyers at GameStops, at Hot Topics, at all these like local nerd places where people buy their collectibles and stuff. I push it that, we're all volunteers in this, that I think that's what distinguishes us from other, like events that happen in locally, in San Jose and in Salinas and, in Monterey and stuff. And then the fact that, what we try to do or what Friends of Watsonville tries to do, it's like provide scholarships, right? In the end of the event, it's like, that's what we're trying to generate, and create a buzz for Watsonville, create a buzz for everything else. But at the same time, it's like create an event for the community, right? So so it's like I said, big shout outs to everyone that's involved, to Eddie, because we well,
let's talk about everyone that's on here. I got the list right here, ish. Let's see. So. These are the people that make it happen.
That are working behind the scenes.
That work behind the scenes. Let's see.
I think I remember everyone. I think.
So we got Aire.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aire. We got Alfonso Lobato.
Yeah.
We got Ana. We have Bianca. We have Carlos. We have Karen. We have Paul D. Workin, Paco Estrada, Ignacio Valencia, Paco over here. We have Tony Camargo, Gino. We got Sam. We got Sarah. And we have yours truly.
Oh, no, and Missy Andrea.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Andrea.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't see her on the list right here. I'm on the Instagram group page. So and Andrea.
And then yours truly, and then Eddie, of course.
Eddie. So shout out to all those people who, like I said, we're a team, and we work hard to put this together.
Yeah.
And we have meetings throughout the year. Actually, as a matter of fact, our first meeting is usually like
the day after.
Like a week after, 2 weeks after, just kind of to debrief of the event, and then we give ourselves like a little bit of a break. But even then, we're still meeting and just talking and getting ready for next year.
Yeah.
Right. Because even though this event is happening and we have it already in the bag, we're already also looking for next year. We have the date actually.
Oh, for next, yeah. And then the thing also that we're missing out is that talking to Paco and Gino, who's involved in the city and is our like a facilities person. We do that little mini con, remember? Yeah. So we started it last year, right?
This past December.
Yeah.
So what it was is that we wanted to give the people something to look forward to in between
the cons,
right before between the years. So one of the ideas was to bring a mini con, right? So it was like a Nerdville point. Like a little mini con,
1.1 or something, 1.0 or something.
So if this is year 5, it's like Nerdville mini con 5.5 to get ready for 6.0. And so it was held at the youth center, and it was more of like a toy con.
Yeah, it's like so like one of the things that we did hear from vendors was that having everything spread out, because last year was the first year we had like all these other facilities open up for us, right? Mm-hmm. Like so we had the cafeteria open for us, the old gym open for us, and people were just scattered everywhere, right? And so people that were in the main kind of like gym, some of the vendors or some of the people were like, hey, it would have been great to have everything just together, so that way, you're still involved in everything that's going on. And so that's the goal this year, to have everything kind of like dense, and then we will have outdoor vendors as well, but we're also bringing in the science bus, remember?
Yes.
So shout out to the science bus as well. Yeah. Thank you for showing up for this year.
Yeah, and it's going to be good because it's going to be, they're going to come out and do activities for the kids.
Yeah.
To kind of keep them entertained. Not that Nerdville is not entertaining already, but you got little ones that might not even know like what's going on, and might get a little fussy, and like this would be a good opportunity to just kind of give them a little something.
Yeah, in between the panels, in between eating. We're gonna have great food. We forgot the vendors or the food vendors.
So who's coming out? We have Hot Birds.
Yeah, shout out to Hot Birds.
Yeah, Hot Birds is coming out. We have
Tacos El Jerry.
Tacos El Jerry is coming out. We have
we call him the potato guy. But do you know who it is? Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but someone that has baked potatoes will be out there. Humble Sebi coffee is going to be out there, and then
the fruit lady that we
fruit
call
lady. Yes.
She makes like the waters, like aguas frescas, and then just like fruits and stuff like watermelon and those cups.
So there's gonna be plenty to choose from, when you get hungry. So that's gonna be fun. The Watsonville band is also gonna be performing. For those who don't know, Watsonville, Watsonville, not the city of Watsonville, but Watsonville has a local band. And they've come out the last couple of years and performed for us outside, and it's a good time. It's a good time.
As people are eating and stuff, they have like a live performance and stuff. And who knows, there's always been talks about making this bigger, and we'll make it as big. Or I think we'll be in discussions about this. depending on just the outcome and, if we should move this or make it, include more, maybe make it a 2-day event if possible. But yeah, there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah. Anything else that we miss?
No, it's just or that for Nerdville for in a week.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were missing something, but also GSA is going to be in town. So GSA has been something like I said, from learning from like Raul and stuff, was the fact that there's always great to have like a certified like a company there to to certify your signatures or whatever. And because like whatever you're collecting, it does have some monetary value to them as well.
Yeah.
But it's always good in case if you decided to let go of something, that it's certified, that hey, this signature is real, and so forth.
Yeah.
They're going to be there. So shout out to GSA and them for showing up. And yeah, so them. What else? We're gonna have R2D2 there again.
R2D2,
the Star Wars peeps. So
yeah, and it's cool because not only does there's gonna be the vendors. There's also artists out there, local artists that are gonna be out there that have been coming out. Gosh, I mean, there's just so much. I mean, the day itself is just so much going on. So much stimulation of just like nerdness stuff.
Yeah, and then sorry if we missed anything too.
If we missed anything, forgive us. But I mean, there's so much.
Every year there's always something we always and it's always a learning curve,
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, like I always, my little thing is like, as volunteers, it's always like, this isn't our day job. This isn't what we typically, do all the time. But it's like, we're here to learn as well.
Yeah.
And then also we're always open to new ideas and anything that the community, Yeah.
Nah, that's dope.
And one thing for the mini con, we have been in talks about probably bringing a guest.
Oh, okay.
So, in case just to make it a little bit more like spicy, if the funds are there, we're thinking of the next mini con. We'll do it before, I think, Black Friday type of thing, where people are looking for gifts and stuff like that. It'll still be somewhat of a vendor affair. But we try to gravitate mostly to local vendors and things like that. So that way people know all the great stuff that a lot of like stores or artists or stuff locally, that they're out there. And if we don't get around to like promoting them this time around, hopefully we have time and to do it the next time around. We're trying to get better at that. Try to promote everything that's just happening. There's so much going on.
Yeah. So again, a reminder, this week we have on Thursday trivia night at Public House, Nerdville theme.
There's prizes too, guys. Yeah. So
that's a collab that we have. Also Saturday is the Q&A and screening of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space. The Chiodo brothers will be there.
Tickets are available, so please, and then I think we posted it up on our Instagram, what's included in the tickets. So I think there's like a drink. There's gonna be some mole there. There's gonna be like some good food.
Well, actually, let me look it up right now. I have it right here. So we have a movie night at Watsonville Public House Saturday, June 28th, the day before Nerdville. And it's the Killer Klowns from Outer Space, and the tickets include one beer or non-alcoholic drink, food catered by My Mom's Mole. So shout out to My Mom's Mole.
Yes.
So it's going to be the screening, a Q&A with the Chiodo brothers, and one raffle ticket for prizes. So doors open at 5:30. Start time is at 6. It's $25 per ticket, and it's on Eventbrite. And tickets will be limited. So this is like
it's a smaller venue.
Yeah.
We wanted it to, so it's a little bit more, just so that way, you have that opportunity of asking questions, being a little bit more involved. And it'll be a great time. My goal was actually to try to bring some of the guests to it as well. For those people, be aware, look at our post, so you can actually see, like how they look.
Yeah.
Because there's been moments where I've gone to concerts and then I wasn't aware, of how the performer looked, and then they would be like right next to me, and I had no clue. But that was my goal. But as it looks like, I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, just because they fly in on Saturday. So my goal is to hopefully have some of them there. So another reason to go.
And I actually want to give a shout out too, because we're collabing. Nerdville is collabing with Watsonville Film Festival on this.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So shout out to Watsonville Film Festival. And visit nerdville831.org for more information.
Instagram too.
Instagram at nerdville831. Let's see. We also need volunteers. So if you're a volunteer that is interested, check out our Instagram. Here's one that's happening that we forgot to mention. Is Game Vault Collectibles is going to be having a One Piece tournament, Card King tournament that day.
Yeah, shout out to Game Vault. They're a big local collectible store. I think they've been around for a couple of years now. At least the shop here in Watsonville. They opened up in Capitola, in the Capitola Mall, but they've been doing great. And big shout out because they were willing to collaborate. They're throwing the tournament. So please, I'll be posting something up So if you're watching this on Monday, hopefully, I'll be reposting some of this stuff for you guys to sign up. It'll be, I think, $20 to enter the tournament. So that includes, the fee to just to be in the One Piece tournament, and also your fee to get into Nerdville. What's it called? It's at a discounted rate, and then there'll be prizes. We'll try to create some great prizes for the winners and whatever there. So we're trying to make this as a great experience as possible. And plus, Stephanie and Jesse are Ace and Nico Robin. So come on, guys, and, get those cards signed. Get those pop signed, and then shout out again to also Trina and Kyle for coming up. The Chiodo brothers and GSA and everybody else, this is for you guys.
This is for the community.
Yeah.
So reminder again, Nerdville this Sunday, June 29th at Watsonville High, 399 Lincoln Street. It's the Watsonville Gymnasium, the new one. Doors open at 10. The event's from 10 to 5. So make sure you come on out. Check out our Instagram for more information. Make sure you can get your tickets ahead of time on Eventbrite.
Also VIP tickets too. I think they're still up. VIP, you get early access in case you want to hit the vendors first and then line up. To get those signatures first before the crowd show up. And then for VIP, depending on when you show up and stuff, you get access to the front of the line, so you get your perks. And hopefully this year we'll provide you guys with a little, good little surprises in your bags.
There's always surprises at Nerdville, so always something to be surprised by. But yeah, Paco, thanks again for stopping by. This is great because again, this is Nerdville. It's like Super Bowl week, but for nerds, for us here in Watsonville, it's our Super Bowl week. Everything leads to Sunday.
Yes.
So
please come out. Please support. Like I said, this is for the community. This is, for the kids as well. It's like I said, scholarships if possible, depending on how much we end up generating in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hopefully we see bigger and better, events happening in Watsonville. We do have Strawberry Festival.
Strawberry Festival's coming up too.
So I'm just happy. And then thanks again, Eddie, for everything.
Yes, of course.
Guys,
see
the man, the legend at Nerdville.
You'll hear me. I am the voice of Nerdville, so you guys will hear me out there on the mic. So nice. And I'll be running those panels. So, but we hope to see you guys there this Sunday, June 29th at Watsonville High for Nerdville 2025. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys share this. Let everyone know about Nerdville. So thanks again, Paco. See you guys this week. God bless. See you guys. Take care.
See ya.